So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans. Well, it's
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host, Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club Roundtable Podcast where five friends discuss the Columbus Crew. We're going to do a review of our C3 Champions Cup Intercontinental Final game from yesterday. We got five of us in the house here. We made the promise at the end of every show that we're going to celebrate and commiserate, and we've had plenty to celebrate. We are going to just kind of talk through this game. And
tip of the hat, Mars.
Thanks, Ben. It's a solemn occasion.
Amazing grace.
Yeah.
How sweet the chuka.
Yeah. So we are the crew. The crew are now crowned the number 2 team in CONCACAF. But anyway, we'll go through it here. We got a few other things to talk about, but no game, no regular season or other game this weekend. So I think we're going to skip the predictions, but we've got a few things to run through. On this episode, joining me are Ben, Mort, Trey, and Haas. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Oh,
hello,
friends.
Yeah, so I know we did a live stream for this game.
Down our legs into the toilet.
One which I did not attend, but we had some. Brian joined us, right? And I don't know. How'd it go?
A lot of people.
Yeah, in and out per usual. I mean,
Brian,
we got to
Tommy,
figure out again how to sync
Jess,
the times and stuff like that. But I think it's just
Morton.
because I've watched. Morton was there. It was it was fun. The game was just took the soul out of like everybody. So it's hard to like have a hype train talk when it was just like, what is happening? This can't be happening.
Yeah.
But I did invite Bird on, and guess what? Happy birthday to the bird. Happy birthday.
Was he on?
No, he said he couldn't be on because it was his birthday. That's why.
Yeah.
No. Birthday.
I was like, Carlos, man, come on. He's like, I have a bunch of friends here for my birthday. And I was like, oh, dang.
At what age do you stop having birthday parties?
41.
Never.
How old is Bird? And how old is that in bird years?
Not 41.
Not 41.
That's a good question.
I'm guessing he's like 25, maybe 26.
28 and a half.
I think it's a non-age disclosure. Kind of like the bourbon that Haas. That's a hell of a segue. I should have saved that.
Yeah, Haas has been just floating in rivers
Kentucky.
of bourbon.
Yep.
Just brown rivers.
For the right reasons.
Just a quick tech update. Haas is in HD 8K with glistening gloss filter on. He's got the Mac fired up. We are fully paid off. No open debts at Micro Center. Is that right? Or did you have to take out a line of credit with them? Are you all good?
No line of credit. I'm doing good.
Okay, that's
and
awesome.
running.
You look good. You sound good.
Yeah. Ding.
Speaking of
Ding.
speaking of debts as well, did you guys place any bets on this game?
I was smart. I did not. I held back from doing it.
Man, I
How
should
about
know
you guys?
Vegas know what to talk about. They probably knew about everything ahead of time that we didn't know about.
Haas started posting screenshots of the odds like a
So
few
much
hours
money.
before the
Just
game,
baiting everybody.
and he
He's the
was.
master.
And
He
and I
works
have
for Vegas.
never.
He's sitting in
I
his river, just both hands going. Like,
He's like, did you know?
look at these odds.
Dude,
Did you know
plus
we got
400
4.5
is
times your
bananas.
money if you put money on the crew? I was like, yeah.
The
That's
crew
awesome.
to win outright was plus 400, and I've not bet on a game ever. And I set up an account and I bet $96 that the crew would win
Same.
outright.
I did the same.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, like, oh, should I do? You guys did it with me. That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, you're like, it
Awesome
seems like
for
good
me.
juju. And I was like,
I
it
only lost
does.
40 between my two bets.
You only did 40? You're like the betting queen.
Well, the one I had was a single game parlay that was plus 950.
Oh,
And Crew win, both teams to score, and Cucho to be an anytime goal scorer was plus 950.
And he didn't even touch
that
the
didn't
ball.
that didn't play out.
Yeah.
Not even
Nope.
close.
If Kusha touches the ball, you get $1.
So you got $0.
He had some good runs, but
Betting is hard.
They all had good runs.
Yeah.
okay. So
I'd say bad runs.
Yeah.
all right. Well, maybe we'll talk about that later, but hopefully not. Let's talk about this game, guys. Let's start with Tracy. Tell us about the set the stage for us.
Facts that could save your life.
Pachuca de Soto, Hidalgo, Mexico. Saturday, June 1st, 9:15 p.m. 74 degrees. It's almost 7,959 feet above sea level. Hidalgo Stadium with a 30,000 seat capacity, and it was packed. I think Nordec
so-
on tour traveled with about 300.
Yeah.
So 29,700 Pachuca fans.
Saw a lot of pictures from the Noron Tour folks. I saw the temples, a lot of temple photos. Is that Mexico City?
I thought you were talking like temples like side of people's heads.
Yeah, I was like,
No.
they're rubbing their temples.
No, that was that was later. We saw there was some. Courtney found a giant clock.
I think that's like what they're known for, right? Everybody was posting.
The clock.
The
Yeah.
clocks?
Yeah,
Probably the town
it looked
hall
cool.
something.
But yeah, 9:15. That was Eastern time. I think they're what are they? Mountain.
Yeah, like 7:15 their time.
Anyway, yeah, it was.
Yes, it was 9:15 Eastern time. And man, they kicked off right at 9:15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a little bit pushed, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
So
I think that where they had Nordeca sitting was, or the Nor on tour was actually kind of nice. Usually, they stick fans in like the butt of the stadium or whatever, but they were like in a pretty good spot, right? Like I saw all the photos. I'm like, oh, I mean, maybe it's because they didn't have like an upper deck, but I don't know.
I mean,
All right, let's
Yes.
go through the lineup, Saz.
The Crew started with Rossi, Cucho, and Matan up top. Yaboa, Morris, Nagby, and Farsi across the middle. Chaberco, Camacho, Morera, and Schulte in goal.
whew,
See how you switched the order of the back line so that your rhythm was different.
No, I didn't.
You
No.
did?
Same.
nope, that's a Chicago
did-
lineup. That's what that is.
Yep. Same thing.
Okay.
Chicago style.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So Crew started a little bit slow in this game. Actually, let me rephrase that.
That's-
Crew
no,
started a
what?
little bit fast in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Came out really well in the first 5 to 6 minutes. 12th
5 to
minute.
6 seconds. Yep.
15.
12th minute. Rondon for Pachuca. Hawes, tell us about it.
12th minute, Pachuca plays out of the back, go through the center circle. We play a through ball right between 3 Crew defenders. Rondon turns, gets to the ball, chips it over, and on-rushing Patrick Schulte.
Good finish.
Ooh.
Good finish.
Horrible
That
defense.
ball was actually pretty nasty.
No, it was
But
a
there
really
was
good ball.
nobody
Camacho
pressuring-
was
nope.
out of position.
Yeah, nobody
but-
pressuring the guy with the ball. So,
Yep.
anyways.
Yeah, Cucho kind of slowed his pressure. Then Nagby didn't get to him soon enough. I think like Rossi was jogging behind him as he dribbled through the midfield.
Yeah.
This guy is a beast.
Dribbling through the midfield is going to be a
And Aiden was nowhere.
context thing here.
Rondon, man, I don't know. I don't know how tall that guy is. Like 6'5".
You see, he's a good player.
He's just, big, fast, strong.
He was
A
good
lot
when
of
he was
problems
with
with
Everton.
him.
I remember him playing for
Yeah,
Everton
no,
back in the day.
he's
He was a
he's-
great player. I
he's
was like,
a
is
good
that
player.
Rondon? And I was like, oh, it was. It's like, how old is he? And I think he's 34.
Yep.
A lot
34,
of their
I believe.
big name players were like 33, 34. I think I saw like
He's
4 of them.
6'2".
That's kind of
He looks
this
way big.
how they do it.
That's
They
'cause
they
he's
have
playing
a
in
couple
Mexico.
of older senior players that are more known, and then they have a lot of youth to have a really good academy.
Yeah.
So we move 3 minutes past. 15th minute, the Crew is given a lifeline as the play is ruled a foul on Pachuca. Cucho with the Crew's best chance in the. Oh, yep. Sorry, I'm moving too fast.
Well, just that they scored it like almost immediately,
right.
But it was found that Rondon
shouldered Camacho in the head.
Some kind of
Yeah. It was a
pro wrestling elbow move to Camacho.
I wasn't convinced that they were going to overturn it.
You're an idiot.
And that, well, I mean, just because it was like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, to me, that's a foul. It's not like crazy, but I was like, this might set the tone. And when they called it back, I was like, oh, sweet.
Camacho was not looking in that direction.
Oh, yeah.
And Rondon.
He laid him out.
Yeah. So.
All right. Go ahead. Yeah. So they called it back.
Yeah. So they called it back. Cucho with the Crew's best chance in the 31st. Yabo with the cross left for Farsi, played into Cucho, and he shoots it just off the outside of the Pachuca net.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was in.
I did too.
I'd argue the Rossi 15-second shot was equally as opportunistic.
Yeah. I mean, the only one that made me think we scored, though, was Cucho's.
I thought it was in. I seriously.
What about Jackin's post rip
Jack and
later?
post?
Oh, it was just off. Yeah. It was Jackins was just off.
All right, let's move on.
Another 6 inches.
All right, so after Cucho's chance, Fox cuts back to the coverage as Pachuca is driving into the Crew box, and Haas, tell us about this goal.
Did you even see it? Because Fox was just
not
like,
really
had
sure
no idea what
how
they were
it
doing.
Got to this point, but it was basically a 3-on-3 break. I didn't get the name of the player bringing the ball down the middle. He has one player on each side of him. He lays it off to his right.
Sanchez.
Rodriguez squares up with it, shoots the inside of his left foot. It's a great shot, honestly. And Schulte was coming out, and it gets up over Schulte and under the bar and in.
So what's your read on that? They talked about this a lot, like, oh, he's going to want that one back. Schulte, he could have gotten to it. Dude,
I think
what's your take on that?
First look, it looked like it was like, wow, how can he not get anything on that? But you say from the other angle, how quickly that ball
very
moves,
fast,
and it switched over too. So it goes sideways, and it's not.
It came out of the back of the net, like past the goal line. It hit the back of the net so hard. So I was like, I mean, I think in general, anytime a keeper gets beat near post, I'm always like,
that wasn't even near post though. That was like at him above his shoulder,
top post.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it was still.
I thought for the possibility was that he. Do you think there's any possibility he thought it was going over and he pumped his hands back to let it go?
No.
I
think it was weird.
I think it was coming so hard.
He didn't have a chance to react.
That he didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use
the speed was gnarly.
He should have done better, but I don't blame him for not. Like
it was a great shot.
He came out just like a little bit, and he goes down as he reaches up to try to block it.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend any more minutes or time on talking about Schulte being any cause of this.
Yeah. He was again. Jeez.
All right. So as we wrap up the first half, 48th minute, Farsi is stepped on as the ball comes over the top. Morera swipes at the Pachuca forward and takes him down as he is just outside of the Columbus Crew 18-yard box.
Yeah.
Thankfully, after a lengthy review, it's overturned because that was going to be a red card on
it would have been a red
Stiffen.
card.
Yeah.
And I'm not convinced
second week in a row that Morera.
There was like a messed up. It was
really
like
lucky
cue the Benny Hill music, right? It was people falling over each other.
I was singing that during our live
I was literally like, "There's no way that's a foul. There's no way that's a foul." Oh my god, he took his legs out.
He showed it again. And Troy was like, "Oh, that's a red card." And I was like, "Yep,
yes, it is."
I mean, his shoe did come flying off. Like,
no, for sure. I mean, the foul happened before Morera lost his brain, and
Farsi was already on his way down.
I thought it was a foul already on them for a second there too.
It was.
That's what it was. That's what they overturned it as.
It ended up being a foul on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
If it was a foul
so
in Farsi, it would have been a...
let's, with your permission, let's jump to the half.
let's
I mean,
just
what
keep-
what were your thoughts here? Like, I mean, I at this point, I still, even after watching this, I still felt like we could play this game. I mean,
I
had not
was
given up.
sitting
I
there.
did not give up at this
I
point.
was so anxious to see what Nancy was going to do at halftime.
Yep.
I'm like, I want to see the changes. I want to see who we're going to bring in. Clearly, we're dead. We're not connecting passes. Like, all right, let's see. Oh, no one. That's cool.
Because they were all in porta potties and not talking to each
They
other.
had enough
at half.
toilets in that locker room.
no,
Probably not.
so
They're passing
My
toilet
thoughts
paper
at-
underneath the seat.
my thoughts at halftime was that I was happy we went to halftime at two goals.
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I thought it's going to be if just 1 minute. Just get to the half. Just get to the half. That's all I'm thinking. And I'm thinking in the half. I'm also somewhat thinking we've been down 2-0 in some big games and been totally outplayed and should probably been down 3 or 4-0. Talking about the semifinal last year, for
Yeah.
example. And knowing that we can come back, but we would make some subs. But at the same time, I didn't have that feeling because there was so many players that just didn't look right.
Oh,
They
none of
didn't
them
look
looked
right,
correct.
making like strange passes. I think Nagby passed the ball out of play like 2
Mhm.
times in the first 15 minutes.
It was...
And I was like, this
Crazy.
feels so weird.
Yeah, I didn't know how... I mean... Yeah, I mean,
mean,
we'll,
I know
we'll
the
go into
ball-
it a
I-
little bit later, but...
Yeah. Yeah.
It-
But I
it
was
just- I didn't
expecting,
feel
I
right
said, they're
either.
making this, I said 100%. This is what I said 100%. Matan is coming out. And I'm thinking Ramirez coming in because he's been playing lately. It's been really good and we've been creating a lot. That was my expectation.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yep.
I was wrong.
I was too. I think a lot of people were wrong at half. It's like, well, we'll do some stuff at half. And then it's like, no changes. And I was like,
Maybe even the Aboa because I don't know if
And
he was on the
just
field.
so the mood was just so tense. I
It
mean, I
was
felt
insane.
like just my mindset at the beginning of the second half, where I mean, they were just like kind of playing a different game, and I felt like I don't know, they weren't able to create, and they weren't making subs, and it felt like old Porter, latter Porter years where it was just like you're just praying and begging for another possession to pass without getting scored on.
yeah, dude.
And that was like in the 50th minute.
Yeah, if you
55th minute.
go ahead and get
How
into it,
diff-
Trey. But like the first 10 minutes of that half, they should have had 5 more goals, and I was like,
Yeah.
we're done. Like,
No, but no, yeah.
We need
but
a
I
line
would say
change.
this though: the first 5 minutes of this game, we probably should have had at least one. And how different would the game been?
it would have been like 7-1. We would have lost.
Yeah, the Rossi shot in the 15th second, there wasn't enough on it. And
No,
he
but
was in a great
Matan
position.
needs to
That
pass
could have
the
changed
ball.
the game.
Matan needs to pass the ball to Farsi. I know it's Farsi, but you need to pass the ball in the middle for a tap in.
Okay, moving on to the second half.
Yeah.
We had about 22 minutes, and then Jose Salomon Rondon. Oh, Haas, tell us about it.
67th minute, Pachuca dribbles to the edge of the box, pass into the box. Camacho falls down as the pass goes off. He gets up just in time to get nutmegged with the shot that goes near post, and Schulte has absolutely no chance to get there.
Benny Hill.
Yeah, flip that record over, play it again, man.
All right, so that happens right before we make 3 subs, which I'm assuming these players were coming in and were set up to come in.
I have confirmation. I saw Pete from New to Crew. I was talking to him, and he said that they were on the sideline waiting to be subbed on prior to that goal, probably around
Right.
60th minute.
So you've got Amundsen in for Chaberko, Zawadzki in for Yeboah, Jackin Russell Rowe in for Alexandru Mayton.
Alexandria Mayton.
Pronunciations. brought to you by the idiots of Upper 90 Club.
So 3 changes. Still no Ramirez. We're not putting our faith in him.
What is the thought here?
I think that is the biggest question. And we're just going to keep on rolling.
Yeah. Let's just
So 85th minute, Ramirez finally comes in for Cucho, and Hinestroza comes in for Farsi.
5 minutes. We got down 3 goals.
And
Get them. Go get them, boys.
let's just say the game ended at 3-0 with Pachuca winning the championship, Schulte winning Golden Glove type thing,
Yeah. Best goalkeeper. Golden Glove or something
Nagby
like that.
winning humanitarian of CONCACAF.
So I think
Champions
it was,
nicest
so I
guy in the field, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got the Fair Play Award as a
Fair
team.
play. Yes,
I'm
there
pretty
we
sure
go.
that the crew got fair play and he accepted the trophy. Like he didn't
Okay.
personally win an award. It was like,
Okay.
he was
Man, how
accepting it.
depressing
Right.
to have to
Yeah. They're like, you guys got
that
fouled.
after the game.
And we heard
Yeah,
it on
God,
the
yeah.
broadcast, but that was Nagby's first loss in a final ever. Through college, through pro, and he doesn't play for national team. So
Yeah.
Wild.
Wild
Not
stuff.
that the national team would know anything about finals.
That is
man,
also
this
true.
game hurt.
Well, Gold Cup
Yeah.
goes up.
I know that last couple of minutes doesn't count for much, but I would say when Hinestroza and Ramirez came in, at least we showed some promise for attack.
Russell
we
Rowe
looked
played
like we were. Yeah, Russell
Oh,
Rowe
that
came
shot.
in,
He was
played well.
the
He
wild
had a
card.
shot
Well,
off the
shot was great.
crossbar. It's still ringing. I mean, but altitude, man, you can't prepare for it, and it's
It's like not preparing for the water. You just can't.
yeah, but my thing is, why is the rule in place? I understand the rule is in place for CONCACAF games, but why can't you show up more than a day and a half or whatever it is before the game? for
Let's
away
talk
games in
about it
CONCACAF?
after the break.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
All right, we're back. Hey, listen
Okay.
up. Listen up. We're back. We're back. We're going to jump now to our thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Players.
AKA, what?
Thoughts and players.
Man, so I can't be the only one, and I know the internet was exploding about subs, but this was completely uncharacteristic for Chiburko and Camacho were insanely bad, right? Like not connecting passes, not running, falling over.
Camacho
I think
looked
that was
real
all
bad
of the
to me.
above, man. That was all of the above. We already mentioned that. Nagby knocked the ball out twice early in the game. Nobody could complete any passes.
Did anyone look good?
No.
I
Schulte.
thought Matan
Schulte.
We talked
looked
about Schulte.
all right. I thought Matan was fine. I saw him visibly frustrated.
But
That
bad decision
people
making.
were not.
He was involved, but then he made bad decisions. Like he should have slipped one through for the goal. He took too many touches a couple other times. He gave up the ball a few other times where we were just holding on to it for too long.
How
So
many
no,
touches
nobody-
did Cucho have?
Very few, and that's the
It's
other
like an
thing.
insane amount. But the thing is, like, when Cucho doesn't get touches, he usually gets frustrated, drops back, and like gets on the ball. Like he knows. And this game, he like absolutely did not do that. Do you think that's like 2 weeks off? But I don't think
it's
that
a stretch. It's a stretch in the team. There is no midfield. Our midfield was non-existent. There was nothing happening between our defense and our attack. It was no play through the midfield at all. It was non-existing. They were eliminated by Pachuca or altitude or whatever it was. They could not move. And I've never seen Aiden Morris run so little and so slow. He was just jogging out there half the time.
Explain to me the altitude. I really genuinely, because like I'm watching our team play who has been through hell and back play like they have never played soccer before. And everyone's like altitude. I'm like, is it that
There's less
bad?
Yes, you can't
it's
breathe.
less oxygen. Yeah. And this is the thing. People say, well, people go to Mexico City and play and it's the same. No, Mexico City is about 7,000 foot and it's not incremental. And when you go from 7,000 to 8,000 feet, there's a huge difference. Even from if you go from Mexico up to them, because you're right up there in that layer and you're working about 75% of your like oxygen intake or whatever else. It's totally different. It affects people differently. And the fact that you can, like, they even said all the practice they did with the mask and all that, that was just to give them a sense of the feeling of how it's going to feel like. It doesn't help them to, adjust to it. Adjusting takes up to 10 days. But between a week and 2 weeks, based on who you are. So some people deal with it better and some people deal with it worse. And
so we kind of referenced this earlier. Why didn't we go sooner?
We can't. This is a CONCACAF rule that says you're not allowed to go to your destination within 2 days of the kickoff, which is ridiculous when you're going to go to 8,000 feet. First of all,
no sense.
Rules
it makes
like
no sense.
Bunny ears rules, right? Like
I think it's like a safety measure. I don't know what it might be or what.
Yeah,
why they do
like
that.
if you're there for more than 2 days, you're going to get food poisoning, kind of thing, right?
That would never happen.
No, I mean that's up. This is 2024.
No, that would never.
We
happen
figured
to
it out.
2024.
So what I
will
kept
stay away from the food at taco bars.
When we were on the live stream, I kept asking, like, "All right, man,
they're just called bars there."
We looked like, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. We looked so bad. Like our individual players looked bad, and I was like, "Is this something that Pachuca is doing?" Because on eye test only, I'm sitting here looking at Pachuca, going, "They're not as good as Monterrey. They're not as good as Tigres. They're not as good as like Cincinnati." Like those are the big games we played. They're not as good as LA, but they made us look. But I don't even think they did any. I'm just like I'm looking at them going, they're not that good, but they're just
so.
They had a smart trip. They had a smart press. The press with three pretty smart and made it kind of hard to play.
But we play against Red Bull and like stomp them.
Okay, go ahead, Trey.
Like help me understand.
This is the worst game the crew has played in a year and a half. Since Nancy's taken over.
Sure.
I don't know if that is stuff dribbling down our legs. I don't know if it's the altitude. I don't know if Pachuca's that much better.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think one of the biggest things that I noticed in this game, we talked about in the live stream, was Pachuca, I think the 3 weeks off, they really used it to pick us apart because they were hitting us where those outside backs were pushing forward. They were coming right at us. They were putting 4 people forward on our three back. And time after time after time, Camacho, Morera, and Chaberco were not handling it well. And I'm not putting that all on them because I think that was the game plan of Pachuca.
Yeah, and they eliminated. Yeah.
They executed.
They eliminated output. Yeah, that helped them eliminate even our outside wings.
Well, and every time we try to play through like Aiden or Nagby, they fouled us. Like I noticed. I mean, at the end of the first half, I think they had like 11 fouls.
Yaboa and Farsi were non-factors.
I noticed at some point. I noticed that this was close. This was at least in the second half. They were letting our guy. They were not pushing our guys. They were like kind of letting us hold the ball. And because we were waiting for them to come at us, did you guys see this? It was probably like 60th, 70th minute. They were just like not exerting.
Well, they're like
us.
up
Maybe it's
2 or
because
3
they had the
nothing at
lead.
that point.
Right.
That's
right.
100% why. Because the pressing thing that doesn't make sense to me, because people press us all the time when we break the press. I mean, to this game, we did not. We kicked it out of bounds. We gave the ball up. We played terrible. But like, I don't think that's out of the necessary, like the norm. You know what I mean? Like we play high pressing teams.
They committed and then they kind of dropped the rest off. It was a strange press. It was not like they pushed the whole team up to press. They pressed like 3 or 4 guys and then everybody else kind of set back. So it was actually kind of a big gap between the first line of press and their midfield. And we couldn't utilize that.
But they've done that. It leaves a huge gap. And Cucho, how many times has Cucho dropped into that space, gotten a direct ball that splits lines, takes a touch right or left, and plays it into the channels for
it takes running. It takes a lot of effort and running.
Yeah, he didn't do that at all. So I'm saying
and we talk about that. Not only the altitude in terms of it affects how much you can run. The altitude also affects when you get wind and all that, your clarity of thought, right? So you start missing things, you start making bad decisions, you get like a level of confusion, right? That's another thing. I'm not making excuses. I don't want to say that, but that's a part of it. And I think that affected us as well. And also the ball moves slightly differently as well when you're up there in less oxygen.
I mean, so that brings me up to this other point, which is like, why don't we have this at a neutral site where it's like, we're going to have these 2 soccer teams play in a fair, like, I don't even care if it's in Mexico, just don't have it at 8,000 feet in a mountain. Like,
this game was meant to be on a neutral site. The second the Miami was out, and definitely after, it wasn't even clear, right? We weren't even sure where it's going to be played. But after Miami went out is when they changed it. They were hoping Miami would go all the way.
Yeah.
They were hoping America was going to go all the way. And they're going to have it in like SoFi or something, in a sellout SoFi, and make a lot of money. The second these teams were out, they changed it.
Yeah.
So this is such a CONCACAF thing to do.
They were talking about Messi in the first 2 minutes, and I about lost my head. I'm like, they're like, who thought this would be here? We thought it'd be Messi. And it's like, really?
Yeah. This is the most CONCACAF thing ever to do that. But
it just seems like it'd be like, all right, cool. Like, we're going to play the football Super Bowl, and it's like the Chiefs versus the who cares. And we're going to have them play football on a plane in space.
Don't go down that, because we've played Super Bowls. Well, I should fact check myself, but I believe we've played in Denver. You know, there's other places that we have played, and it's fine, except for it's an even playing field for both teams. When you are going
underwater,
going to another team's stadium, like
it's fine. It's fine. We won it that way. We won it that way, so I can't complain about it. We played in our house, but my problem is the fact that they can come up a day and a half before to acclimate, to do something. Is probably one of the highest altitude soccer stadium in the world.
I'm just glad they postponed our games.
Can I tell you guys that a few minutes ago when Ben was saying that he didn't know why altitude affected sports or something, that I did, and I swear to you, I swear I used SwissCow.com
as you should. It's clean,
which ultimately just brought me to the Wikipedia of it just took me to Wikipedia of altitude training. I wanted to share this. I read through it and it was just all so mind-numbing and boring. Like while you guys were talking, I was choosing this over that.
Totally.
The one thing I wanted to share was that the study of this is according to Wikipedia. The study of altitude training was heavily delved into during and after the 1968 Olympics, which took place in Mexico City. They found that endurance events saw significant below record finishes, while sprint events broke all types of records because of decreased resistance, etc. So
interesting.
Yeah, anyway, thanks SwissCow. I cheesed it. All right.
But 8,000 feet is officially the altitude where they set as the bar for where people get altitude sickness.
What was that? What was that number?
Have any of you ever had altitude sickness?
I can't fly in planes.
I've had headache. I've had headache and dehydration and all that kind of stuff, and my heart pounding but
I've
not
gotten
like
it out
really,
west,
really.
like puking. Yeah. It's intense.
All right, so I've started this, but let's read a little more internet.
All right, first thing from Charles Boehm. I'm sure this is,
Bame.
and that's at CBOEHM.
Pronunciations.
It says, quote, and this is coming from
Here he goes
Wilfred.
again. It's crazy.
My players gave everything, knowing that they were sick. Also, what?
Hold on,
all
you said all that. You're quoting Nancy right now, right?
Yeah, but it's you got to do it. I got to give my sources. We're an open book here. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to hide sources.
Okay.
Anyways, quote, my players gave everything, which is hard to believe, knowing that they were sick also. All the team had diarrhea since yesterday. All the team. The staff also. Don't get me wrong. This is a fact. I'm not here to tell you Pachuca don't deserve to win. They scored 3 goals. Okay, but my players gave everything. Yeah, it literally seemed like our dudes were just sick. Like, Aiden Morris was 100%.
It makes sense in retrospect. We didn't know this at the time when we were watching the game, but in retrospect, it looked like, especially our midfield, Aiden Morris. I have never seen him like he was running like he was clinching his butt. Seriously, he's like jogging back at a couple of chances, whatever else, and. At that altitude, things move faster and less predictable too. So
yeah, and Trey's a doctor, and he was talking about like
not a doctor.
Okay, cool. If you have diarrhea, you get dehydration. That's like the main, because we were working geriatrics, like
altitude.
It's the first 2 letters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you get like that's your first worry with that. You get dehydrated, and it's like, man. All of this just, are we thinking conspiracy?
Hydration too. Yeah.
I am wondering, like you say conspiracy, you want to talk about whether or not you think we were poisoned?
Yes.
They're saying the crew believe it was food poisoning.
Okay. That the food poisoned them, not that someone poisoned their food, right?
Can't they just bring their own food?
The wait staff.
I mean,
the wait staff was big Pachuca fans.
Can we not be
dates.
pretentious assholes
Indiana
and just
Jones, anyone?
Bring our own PB&Js and Capri Suns?
I was surprised about that. I mean, people do
You're
that.
only there for 2 days. You got to Uber Eats your food, man.
No, man. 2
what about
days.
this?
You bring that stuff.
You put sandwiches in a cooler and bring it. Seriously,
That's what I'm talking about.
The Haslams should have chartered a jet full of sandwiches.
Or a jet made of sandwiches.
I mean, if you're going to spend money on something, that's what you should have spent the money on.
Oh, clearly.
Hey, not the supporters.
Let me
Hi, I'm Ben.
I take a sandwich over a wobblehead.
Hey,
Burger King.
Danny DeVito's flying down a Jersey Mike's.
Devil's advocate here. I'm not. I mean, don't you think that it's weird that if 11 plus dudes have diarrhea, that nobody had a bathroom emergency for either of the 50-minute stretches that they played?
Dude,
I mean, they were in yellow.
Camacho kept going down to the ground. He was trying to wipe it off.
Yeah.
They're wearing yellow.
Have anybody seen the song
just,
clip of a guy that does that?
Yeah, but when you're having that much diarrhea, it's clear. We've been there.
It's clear?
It's clear?
Obvious?
Do I need to go to the hospital?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
crap. No, I think it's more like, they had quote-unquote diarrhea, but I think they were like legit sick with, it's more than just that. I can't imagine playing.
All right.
Did someone already said Farsi felt like he had chills when he was playing?
Yeah, Haas said that earlier. But I also, at the same point, said, this is the worst game that this team has played in the last year and a half.
Yeah, by a mile.
I'm not going to go down the conspiracy route that we were definitely poisoned or anything.
Well, I'll disagree with that.
Down that route. But
Get your foil hats out.
there's a
want to
reason we played like absolute dog crap. And it wasn't
Human crap.
What breed of dog?
So I'm
Human.
sorry. I'm sorry. There's a reason we played like
Human
absolute
man.
diarrhea.
Human.
But
I mean, yeah, the
Okay.
fact that we like got there 2 days before and he said everyone got sick, the whole team all got sick and staff is bananas.
Here's my
They were stabbed.
Staff
Okay.
infection?
That's the other thing is that if you have chills, that indicates like some kind of fever, infection kind of thing, and like that would be something totally different. And I have questions about that.
That could be a sign of dehydration, though, as well as,
Dude, Trey
And
MD,
that's-
baby.
that's-
poisoning.
I just think, look, I'm fine. I am kind of playing the other side here, guys, because like I'm fine if he wants to come at Nancy wants to come out and say like, yeah, we all had food poisoning, whatever. But I would want to see some kind of accounting and accountability for what these guys consumed in the 48 hours that they were there. I don't think you can just throw that comment off and be like, oh, yeah. Pachuca, they totally won. But we were all violently ill. And so that's fine. That
The
may be
most ill
true.
you've
But
ever
like,
seen.
if you're going to throw that off and be like, this is our excuse for losing this, like the most
$50 million
important game we've ever
Yeah.
played,
What's that
there
in pesos?
needs to be some kind of
Lots.
accountability for
Mucho.
like how that happens.
You think it was?
You've got these guys sleeping in tents for weeks before the game, and then you like here's
Let's
some
get the
tap
street taco.
water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
street
exactly.
tacos and tap
Like
water.
how does that happen?
And I constantly last season praised our entire like fitness people, all the dietitians, because we had very few injuries. Like everybody
So,
was healthy the entire time.
I think
like, I'm like, holy
the biggest
cow.
question here is why couldn't the Haslam's fly a tanker of water from Columbus, Ohio?
I already
To
made that
hydrate.
joke.
A submarine of sandwiches, a sub of subs. Nailed
You
it.
made a water joke?
I made a
Flying
I
a
made
sandwich.
basically
You
the
made a
same
flying
joke.
water joke.
I made
Flight joke.
Was that the joke we were talking
It
about
was
last
too close.
year?
Is that
or
was
last
that the
episode?
joke we were
Is
waiting
that the
for?
joke?
All right, guys,
Was
I
that
have
it?
something important to announce. Hold on. We hit the sting. Can we get a custom sting for when
that
the
joke
goes?
happens? It'll
I'm
just be
waiting
like
to
joke.
tell. I've been waiting to tell this joke, and that was it. The joke was that I already told the joke. All right. Is there anything more to talk about here? I hope not.
No,
I did put a link to Twitter where the beginning of the. I didn't get a chance to see the beginning of the game, but maybe I'll try to post it. But before the game, they had two guys, one in a Crew jersey, one in a Pachuca jersey.
I
and
am
they were
watching this and I keep coming back to it.
It's crazy.
It's
And all this is, like-
amazing.
so it's just these two guys playing drums, but it's not like a drum set. It's just like drums with their hands, and half the time they're just not playing, and it almost looks like a drum off. But it's like we did it. You know, it's like me versus Haas.
No.
Like,
They
I was
have
just like,
drumsticks. They have
They have
drumsticks.
drumsticks, but it is like it's the most ridiculous. I don't know. Like
In the
I love how
stands?
the crowd reacts to it. That's my favorite.
the links in the doc. I'll post it tomorrow and put it. But I was watching it before I got on here. I was like, what is what are they doing? I don't know. Yeah, I'll post that.
I've
The
heard
other thing-
Pachuca's known for drums, but
Hey,
Drum and
Like
clocks.
floor toms. It's like all floor toms. That's
It
all
doesn't
they're
make any
playing.
sense.
I guess
I don't know
the
what
local
that
pawn
means.
shop.
my biggest disappointment,
Sponsored by Lebs.
other than the drums, is not so much that we lost. It's the fact that we didn't play like we know we can play. We didn't have a chance to show what we can do at the big stage, and feel like there was conditions or situations that caused us to not perform the way that we know we can perform. I didn't say we were going to win if we did, but it sure as hell was not the team we have seen over the last year or so that played in this game.
And it never felt like, I mean, watching this game, it didn't really feel like a heartbreaker, like we lost. It was just, we just didn't
we never showed up.
We never showed up.
It felt
there was
like-
never like it was never ripped from our hands. It was just
No.
like, oh, we just got smashed in this game.
But it was like, I mean, Chaburko, there was a couple of times where he was just walking and the guy would run by him and he would just like look the other way. And I'm like, what? We've been talking about like Chaburko's rise. That guy has played like out of his mind. And this was it. I'm just saying this whole thing was, I just kept saying on the live stream, like, I feel crazy watting this. This
You could've
doesn't
said-
make any sense to me. Like watching our players.
Said
Like,
Chaburko. You could have said Chaburko. You could have said Camacho. You could have said
Morera,
Morera. They were
yeah.
all the same way, and it doesn't end there. So it was absolutely insanity. And
yeah, I
no,
kept going like,
it makes me sad. I'm more sad of the performance than disappointed of losing.
I did want to shout out from the internet to the Pursuit ad. If you haven't watched this, it's pretty phenomenal what they've done.
Oh, that was that.
Yeah, his name is Hanif Abdurraqib, and he, I think he just pretty much wrote, like a free verse for this ad that Pursuit had. I may try to clear it, but I am going to play it right here, and if they want us to take it down, I'll take it down. But I want to punch it in right here because it's worth 2 minutes of your time. So here it is.
If you find yourself looking over your shoulder for too long, you'll miss the glory of the present. Unraveling in shouts and sparks right as you lived in it. You'll miss the coming glory of every possible future, futures which you can reach out and feel like you can already touch on the right night, when the ground outside of the stadium shakes with the thousands singing voices. It's good to know where you've been. It's good to remember the history that carried you to a place, but history exists so that new history can be made. Not to be built on top of the past, but to be built alongside the past. Another brick in the long road of legacy, in a city of champions, where winning doesn't only happen one time. Winning is something you do once and then it echoes for a lifetime. Every past victory echoes into a new one. Every new victory echoes into the ones that haven't arrived yet, but you know they're coming. It's a feeling. The golden wind blew confetti into your hair once, through the space in your outstretched hands once. You can't help wanting to fall in love like that again. A team, a city, in pursuit. Always in pursuit. It's never enough. And how lucky we are for that. We've got the room. We can always build newer, bigger cases for the trophies.
All right, so yeah, I love that, and I felt like we should absolutely play it. I actually have his Tribe Called Quest book. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. The suits are actually kind of sharp, man. Those are sharp suits. I think we saw Cucho and all them wearing it. Was it Hell is Real or something like that? I know Ty had mentioned because he was working there prior to the crew, so you've got the ties, but the video, if you haven't seen it, the audio's brilliant. The video accompanies it like perfect. So, it's a good, I was just bummed out about the game. And then watching that right before we hopped on here, I was like, I feel like I got to mention this. Like it feels better. It feels like, it's like, all right, time to get back to.
Do you guys have pursuits? Do you have pursuits?
No.
I is that how you say it? Is it?
You have a pursuit?
Suit?
I have pursuit. Singular.
I don't know what that means.
What is the cost per suit?
Okay.
I don't remember.
It's affordable. It's got to be affordable. Because
love
you
the way you
spend
look.
all your other money on this computer.
Yeah, those suits are sharp.
And bourbon.
Yeah. Oh, and bourbon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bourbon.
just swimming in bourbon. Okay.
Now,
All right. Well, yeah, this game was a bummer, and then it's kind of like bittersweet too. We've got is this an international break? Is that what, like, we have a friendly?
It is not. So
is
next
this?
Saturday, there's
What
like
is
6 MLS
this?
games, which I think doesn't make any sense because we're also like way behind. I double checked because the U.S. plays Colombia next Saturday at 5:30.
Next Saturday, like the 7th or
8th.
8th.
Yep.
So, but there is like 5 MLS games. I'm like, okay, why aren't we playing that?
Why
Because
could we not
need-
have rescheduled? Yeah, maybe Seattle and New England are
it's
playing.
insane. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, honestly, good break, reset. Let's get over this.
Heal up.
Heal up
It's
because
going to take a little bit.
Because, I mean, we're playing back-to-back away games. We're playing at New York, and then we're playing at Miami.
Yep.
Miami?
Yeah.
Are they any good? Do they have any players?
On 6/19.
Miami
no.
doesn't. New York's playing
Hey,
well.
you know what we should mention, though, before we wrap up here is just how favorable the regular season results have been, both on Wednesday, match day, blah, 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 and Saturday, match day, blah, 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 +1. We saw Miami and Cincinnati
Lose at home.
lose at home.
Yeah.
At home? Was it
Yeah,
at
they were
home?
both at home.
On Wednesday. And then yesterday, Miami tied. And Cincy, did they play?
They did not.
No. But
Okay.
interesting thing is everybody ahead of us in the table here, and some barely ahead of us, have played between 3 and 4 games more than us.
Yeah. It's,
Between 2 and 4, I should say.
Yeah. Toronto
And then
tied,
the
which is
spot.
another
Hold
one.
on.
They've been on a
So-
hot streak.
Maybe, Haas, could you, before we go, review the tables?
Just tables! 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 I can't know how to hear any more about tables!
So currently in the East, we have Miami with 35 points, 18 games played. Cincinnati, 33 points, 16 games played. NYCFC, 29 points, 16 games played. RBNY, 29 points, 16 games played. Charlotte with 25, Toronto with 24, and the Crew also have 24. However, Toronto has played 17 games, and we have played
3 games in
14.
hand. Oh my God.
We played 14, you said?
Yes.
We're still above the playoff line with 3 games in hand. What is this world?
Yeah, the 2 teams behind us
Just
have
barely.
the only team that have played as many games as us is New England Revolution.
And they won away.
They beat Nashville. Caleb still has a job.
Insane. He might still be.
I
the
hope we
coach.
do get to play him.
Yeah.
Do we play away at New England before we?
Yeah, because we
29th of
moved the
June.
game. Yep.
So yeah,
we
coming
may
up.
face him after all. Okay.
And City doesn't play again until they play us, and they're on a 5-game winning streak.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing some things. But hey, man, I mean, but yeah, that is crazy. I mean, so that's 3 away games. Then we play away here. We have a week off, and then we play 2 more away games. That's like what 7, 8 weeks or something like that of not playing a home game.
Yeah.
Who's doing this?
What's the altitude in the Bronx?
Sea level.
50 feet.
The attitude.
It's a lot of
But the
attitude.
problem is we're playing on a little league pitch.
We're playing in the Bronx, though. I mean, it's not City Field. So they'll pack it with 12,000.
Yeah,
Sold out.
It's crazy that they're like
Altitude
that
of
they-
the Bronx is 280 feet,
Okay, all right. It's gonna be just like Chicago.
which means their pizza is terrible
That means they're going to have too much air. Wait, how does that work?
in the crust.
Yeah, they're going to have good point. That's Chicago. Although I love deep
And
dish. You
San
got me
Fran.
deep dish. I'll never forget that. I'll be on my
Yeah.
deathbed and I'll be like, dude, Mars got me deep dish when I went to Chicago. And I'll
Yeah.
peace out. And I want you to bury me in deep dish.
Did he
So
kill you with the
we-
limoncello? That's been in his
I
freezer for 6 years.
No, that was good.
that should have
It was
given
good.
us
Was it?
dysentery.
But didn't.
It didn't.
It didn't.
No, it was all good. It was all good.
Might clean things up.
Hey, so just gonna breeze right by that one. Next week we are gonna have an episode, a TBD on agenda.
We could do listener questions. We may try to I may reach out to some people and see what's going on. I just haven't had a chance to. But probably listener questions. We might loosely. I mean, we could also loosely review the U.S. men's national team game.
Oh God!
I mean, all the players in Europe right now.
I would argue that 90% of the people that watch the crew follow in some capacity the U.S. men's national team.
I would argue that you should look at our numbers from during the World Cup.
But it's like when we just started. How about this? You tell us. I'll send a bunch of tweets, some blue skies, a couple threads, couple Facebooks, 2 Friendsters, 1 MySpace, and a Baker's Dozen LinkedIn things out.
All you need to do is just look at those. Look at those numbers. I mean, yeah.
I think you had 4 people.
Let's just put it this way: don't advertise that we're going to talk about the U.S. team. Okay. All right. Hey, so tough beat.
Tough beat.
Tough beat.
Tough beat.
But
it's rough when you're shit yourself.
It's I know. It was tough, but we're gonna get back into the regular season for what, like a month or so. You mentioned Leagues Cup is coming up in late July.
Yeah, let's wipe those tears and wipe those butts.
Because it's a brand of chips.
Wipe the tears out your butt and let's play some soccer, as they say.
All right, guys. So we'll be back next week, and then week after we'll be in New York City. So we'll do predictions next week, and see where things stand there. But until then, go Crew.
It's Crew time.
I love you.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was bad. I mean, I think that was apparent.
Like, a serious
dip of the hat. Dip of the hat, man.
That's the animated stuff.